Adrian Wojnarowski dropped a Woj bomb on himself. ESPN's lead NBA insider announced Wednesday on X he is retiring from the outlet to become a general manager of the St. Bonaventure's men's basketball program. The news sent shockwaves through the sports media industry because until Wednesday morning, there had been a sense that Wojnarowski, 55, would be breaking NBA news even on his deathbed. He's walking away from roughly $20 million.
Big money. Hey, man, that job of breaking news is gotta be really, really, really tough. Because I remember when Chris Broussard was doing that. And he was at ESPN before he was at FS1. He wanted to transition from being more of a contributor, more of a talent. And ESPN was not having that. They didn't see him as a star, as a contributor, and he left because it's got to be really tough to be the insider, calling, talking, spending all your time to find out, okay, what's this GM doing? What's that GM? What are they talking about? It's basically a professional, gossip getter, and then you're trying to figure out, okay, is this legitimate or not by verifying it through other sources. And it's got to be tiring. And he realized now that he's made a few million, his time is more valuable than the money that he's making from ESPN. That's why he's going to be a general manager where he has, maybe 40, 50-hour week. He's not on the phone all the time, getting texts all the time, trying to keep those relationships connected. Everything, all my hats off to Woj. I don't know who's going to take up the mantle of being NBA newsbreaker. It's a tough job. It's a tough business. It pays well. But from the outside looking in, it looks like it's a 24/7, 365 type job.
Yeah, you think about it, it's probably more for a younger guy, maybe doesn't have a family yet, can work all day, all night, do that type of thing. But I'm sure after a while, Woj built the relationships that allowed him to be successful. People gained trust with him. But I like this quote that he put on Twitter. This craft transformed my life, but I decided to retire from ESPN and the news industry. I understand the commitment required in my role, and it's an investment that I'm no longer driven to make. Time isn't an endless supply, and I want to spend more in ways that are more personally meaningful. And I think this is the part we talk about a lot here, just that time is our most valuable asset. And he's already, had multi-million-dollar contracts with ESPN. He's probably secured himself, and he's walking away from $20 million. But what good is money if I'm never able to enjoy it?
And at that point in his life, I don't think that $20 million is going to change his lifestyle much.
Wealth or what he's done to this point, but I'm sure he's pretty well secured financially. Probably did some smart investing, and he's just like, look, I'm more interested in giving back to the school that gave me my start, that gave me my foundation. Want to spend more time, not sure about his family either, but probably wants to spend more time with his wife, his kids, and just live a more balanced life. And I think we have to understand that there is a cost to being successful. He obviously paid that cost to become who he was in the sports industry. He had to build the relationships. He had to work the crazy hours. He had to do what no one else was willing to do that allowed him to be the Woj that we all, anytime, and I'm on Twitter, anytime Woj says something, it's gospel. It's legit. He's not going to say it. And that's a powerful thing. When your name is synonymous to an industry, that is a testament of work ethic, of just being able to become a trusted name somewhere. Even the scripture says a good name is better to be desired than gold or rubies. And he developed that. That's something that we can look to and take some pointers from. But I think this is also a great lesson for us. Once you get to a certain level, then you have to reevaluate what's important. Is it just about money, or is it about living a life that's fulfilling? And I think this is a great testament for us to understand that there's a time to sow, but there's also a time to reap.
And this the portion of the quote that really got me is when he said, "It's an investment that I'm no longer driven to make. It's not that I can't make it. It's not that I'm getting so old, I'm falling asleep, I'm not able to do what I need to do to be successful at it. But I'm just no longer driven to make that level of investment." That's powerful.
That's emotional intelligence. Yeah. And I think we all should learn that too. Like, what happens when you've been doing something a long time? Like in your case, what happens when showing a house, it's no longer doing it for you anymore? You're like, even if it's $1 million house or a $10 million house, you're just like,
when you're no longer driven, then it's time to pivot. And pivoting is always a tough decision to make, to decide when to pivot and then how to pivot, and knowing that some people are going to be disappointed, some might be hurt, some might be, impacted in ways that aren't positive by you pivoting. But you got to be okay with that, because you got to know that you're doing this for the betterment of you and what matters to you, and that life is not promised to any of us. He might have 20 more years on this earth. He might have 2. He might have 2 months. Who knows? And that goes for all of us. How are you going to leverage it, and what kind of legacy you're going to leave behind? And he's already left a legacy in the NBA. He had his own coin phrase as Woj bombs, and now, I think he wants to leave his legacy on the next generation. He wants to leave his legacy at his alma mater, St. Bonaventure. And after you reach a certain level of income, you make heart decisions and not monetary decisions.
And he's going out on his own terms. And I think that's really important. Going out on your own terms, not simply being driven out.
Yeah, or dropping a bomb that ended up not being a bomb, and they're like, whoa, just unreliable. You're not in the know anymore. It's better to leave the party early and people ask, "Oh man, did such and such leave?" than to be in there too late and helping clean up the dishes.
Listen, man, I know a few pastors who could take this advice.
Bro, whoa, yes, we should have started out with that. Yeah, I mean, staying too long in the pulpit, my man. I mean, staying too long in the position while things are changing all around you, and you're unwilling to let go and let somebody take that mantle and take the church to the next phase.
The smart ones know when it's time to transition. And I think, we can go in all different types of ways. This could be a whole episode, but this could be a short reaction. But I think there's so many different, you have to be self-aware. And technology and media changed during his career. I'm sure he's not as knowledgeable about the way things are now as he was earlier in his career. And that's normal too. When you realize, hey, this might have gotten away from me. This is different than it was when I first got into the industry. And it's hard to always adapt.
37 years. I'm 39, my boy. He's been doing this for 37 years.
Bro, he did this 4 years before I was even born.
Yeah, he's been grinding, and now it's no longer a thrill. It's no longer driving him. It's time to pivot, and I commend him for realizing that, and wish him all the best with the next phase of his life.
Yes, sir. Good job, Woj. All the best. Until next time, people, keep leveling up. Peace.